Where did I come from? I've been asking myself that a lot over the past few years. My name is Jusneel Mahal. I was born in Vancouver, Canada on October 3rd, 1996. And despite being the son of two immigrant parents, I took little to no interest in learning about their family's immigration story and my Indian culture. Listen, I was a stubborn, sassy kid who rejected my heritage. I was focused on me and all things in my secluded bubble. But everything changed in 2020 when my grandma suddenly passed away. I shared a unique relationship with her. She spoke little to no English, and I was the only person in my entire family who didn't know our heritage language, Punjabi. Despite seeing her almost weekly, I never asked her any personal questions because of her language barrier. After her death, I felt inclined to learn as much as I could about her. I felt guilty that I knew so little about her upbringing when she was alive. She went through such hardship to provide us with a better life. I didn't want to make that same mistake twice, so I decided to talk to my 77-year-old grandpa, Gurjeet Singh Boyle, about his experiences moving to Canada in 1977. I primarily viewed him as my goofy, know-it-all gramps who loves to give unsolicited advice, but I wanted to go deeper with him and discover my roots. And it turned out that he is quite the immigration tale. On that note, here's his story.
I grew up in the province of Punjab, which is in the north of India.
What did your parents do for a living?
But they were farmers. They owned a farm, they did a farm work, and they had some people to work for them. And we helped them sometime whenever it was needed as a children. Didn't want to be a farmer. I want to do something else, study and do something else, go somewhere, go visit another country or something like that. I want to see the other side of the world.
So you didn't envision staying in the same city your whole life?
No, no, not at all, not at all, not at all. It wasn't my feeling to stay where I was because I want to see something different, different.
How long did you end up living in your family home?
Till 16 and a half. For 16 and a half. Well, I wanted to go to England to see, because a lot of people I hear from England, they have a good life, and I wanted to explore that. So my cousin sister was going, so she said I can take you along with me, and then I went with her.
Did you, like initially when you first moved there, did you know any English at the time?
Not much, not much. Only reading a little bit, but not speaking wise, not understanding the conversation. But eventually, I tried to learn as quick as possible to get communicated with people. I read from newspapers and watching the English TV channels and talking to people who I was working with to explain to me and what to say in English, and I kind of picked it up pretty quickly. So I had gone through a lot of obstacle to settle down because I was very young, very naive. I didn't know nothing that much, so that's why the struggle was starting to down on me. That sometime I would go home and cry, say why I choose to do this away from my parents because they will look after me. But now I'm on my own now, and I have to support myself. I couldn't do any schooling anymore because of the age factor, and supporting yourself is a very hard. At the beginning, your job was very low payment jobs, so it's a that's what I call the struggle. I had to struggle for a few years till I got on my feet again. Then it was okay. People usually grow quite old with their parents guide them. I have no one to guide, only the few relatives, which was fruitful sometimes, not fruitful other times, because everybody is going through the same thing. So they cannot do anything much for me. They are also struggling. Right? There was the one problem was in the job front. Then I was called in by my friend to have an interview at one of the paint factory. Then he told me to come at lunchtime and to get me to meet meet the the foreman in charge, then he'll get me a job there. But I wore my turban, which was initially my uniform in India, and the gate man didn't even let me in. And the reason I found out was they didn't want the guy with the turban working in the place, so that's why I was refused. So that was the one incident. The other was as people began to dislike people in the pub, and I always have some arguments with people, but we were a few friends. We'll always go together in case there's any outcome of trouble. So we were kind of safe. Well, one time there was a little bit of an accident, which the guy tried to steal my wallet and stabbed me with a little knife. That's the only incident that I could recall. But we were very careful not to go to places where you could feel the tension between the people, and we only attended places where it was safer to go. A few years it was like that. It was kind of native people were getting a little uptight about the influx of people coming in the country. And I thought, okay, maybe there's a little bit of racial feeling in people. Next time I'm called in to do something, I will not wear a turban. I'm here. I want a job, so I will go as the people who live here, right? And once I was helped to work for Indian Airline at the airport, and I was asked to do cleaning of the bathroom toilets. Then I thought myself, no, 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 I'm not going to do this. The manager even said to me, let's go, come with me, I'll show you something. And he went to the bathroom, he cleaned the bathroom and toilet and sink and everything. He threw away the paper, wash his hand. He said, that's all you got to do. I said, I don't think I can do this. I cannot clean the toilets in the plane. He says, well, it's not much, but I say, I can't. But then eventually I had to accept jobs as they come if I want to settle down.
And then you decide to marry Naniji and you go back to India.
Yes.
Could you explain
Well,
how?
I went to India. Then while I was there, that they decided that before I go back, I should get married because they was worried about me being alone, living alone. So they said we're going to arrange marriage for you. So they found a girl and they introduced me, and then I accepted it. Then we go from there. We got married. Then I went back to England, and then I put papers for her to come to England. Then she came about 9 months later. It was fun. It was very good life. I had a good job, and she was Maniji were working, and my daughter was growing up, and it was fun. It was fun.
So why Canada? Like, how does Canada become on the radar? Like, how did you end up
Well,
here?
Canada came on the radar because my sister came from India to get married to a person in Canada. And then I come along with her to get her married off. Then I saw Canada. Then when I saw Canada, then my mind started to tickle that I think this is a place for me in the future. That this is open country. It's going to be better for my children, my child, and then kind of a mind kind of all of a sudden flicked to change to, oh, let's explore Canada now. Let's see what Canada brings. I came in 1973 to get her married off. Then I start visiting Canada, various part of Canada, Toronto, Winnipeg, Alberta, then BC, then just to see what it's like all over the place. Then I really like BC because I had some relatives here, and my sister was here too. She wanted me to be near somewhere locally to her, and then I decided, well, why not? Why not take a chance, see what happened, and we'll. The girl is small yet; she's only 9 year old. So we thought, let's explore it and then see what happened. Then I applied for immigration. Then I was accepted. Then it took me 2 years to kind of leave England because I was kind of keep changing my mind. Should I go? Should I not go? What it would be? It'd be hard to settle down in a new country. Then eventually my daughter stayed with her aunt in school. That's made us decide. Let's say, okay, let's go.
Do you now identify as a Canadian because you've been in Canada the longest? Like that's where you've been
But
since.
I consider myself Canadian as far as my feeling is. But I'm also from India. I'm also part. My mind and body is still there, attached to my native land that I adore. I like India. I like my home place, and I go there once in a while as soon as I get the chance to go. And but I'm Canadian. I'm all for Canada.
Looking back now you worked as a driving instructor. You were recently retired. You have two grandkids. One's in Boston. Do you think you made the right choice after all of these years?
Yes, yes, yes. I made the right choice. I made the choice I made for my daughter, and I think, along with my future grandchildren, I was thinking that's where they. This is a place for them to grow. If she's here, it's fine. And I think that my choice to bring her over into Canada was well worth it because she has two children, which are my grandchildren. They're doing well, and I'm proud of it. And that's my feeling is all for the betterment of the kids,
Mhm.
for
Well,
their good future.
that wraps up everything on my end. Uh, Thank you for doing this, and yeah, that's all the questions I have.
Was it? Is it okay that my conversation went along fine?
Yeah, you did good.